Streets don't love nobody. Gotta find a new route to make it out, man, cause streets don't love nobody. Used to think it was all good, but I found out the hard way. Streets don't love nobody. Used to think the streets was all I knew, but streets don't love nobody. Nah, streets don't love nobody.
Yo,
Yo,
it's good, y'all. We back with another one. We got a special guest. And let him introduce himself.
my name is Edward Funches, and I'm the founder of Inclusion Mobile Detailing Company.
Tell him a little bit about how you started your organization.
And what it is.
Well, actually, I started Inclusion Marketing Advertisement Group to bring awareness for individuals with disabilities. Prior to that, I published a magazine, and in my magazine, I seen, there wasn't ads for people with disabilities inside these magazines or inside commercials. So that was the purpose of me creating Inclusion Marketing Advertisement Group.
And what they do actually.
Well, originally, with the Marketing Advertisement Group, I drive cars as well, and I purchased around 20-something vehicles. And I want to bring awareness for the auto industry as well, because at this point, till this day, we cannot go test drive a vehicle if we wanted to. So, I realized that, the vehicle that I purchased, I had a Mercedes and I had a Cadillac, and I took one of them in for service, and the technician told me that this is illegal for them to have me wait around to get my vehicle fixed. Normally, they give you, when you bring a brand new car, and they give you a loaner car for you to drive. Unfortunately, they didn't have a vehicle accessible for myself for me to drive. So every time I came in, he made it, I didn't have to go through the process. You know what I'm saying? So he rushed my vehicle so I can get out of there. And that's when I knew that this was a problem, and I wanted to bring awareness to it. And that's what made me really create Inclusion Marketing Advertisement Group.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah, so I know we spoke before. You was telling me like how, y'all get these contracts and you hire people, coming out of prison, and yeah, I think that's dope, for coming out of prison, especially, how hard it is to find work, coming out of prison. And, like how long have you been, hiring people coming out of prison?
Well, I created the company in 2014. Like I said, to bring awareness, and I created it as a marketing advertisement group, but I wound up pivoted in to the mobile company because I experienced getting out of prison. I've been in prison twice in a wheelchair. And my situation is a little different from a lot of people. I'm not just the average individual in a wheelchair, So when I came home, I had a few homeboys of mine. They made my come home much easier than the average individual. So they helped me get a car and, furnish apartments for me and stuff like that. So I knew that, that how easy it was for myself, it was hard for other individuals, and that was the purpose of me hiring individuals that getting out of these institutions. Like yesterday, we went to Rikers Island. I took a few guys that work with me. I never say work for me, work with me, because at the end of the day, it's collective. They doing the job that I'm unable to do. It felt good to them. It wasn't my first time crossing Rikers Island with no handcuffs on or escort, but it was their first time, and I was telling them, this is, if you stay focused, you can do anything that you want to do. And I'm proving that to individuals. So this is 11 years of being in this business, and that's all I hire is formerly incarcerated individuals, people with disabilities, and people experience homelessness. Because I know that, I experienced every last one of them. I wasn't, traditional homeless, but when you don't have a residence with your name on it or a deed with your name on it, and somebody have the ability to tell you to get out, you're homeless. And at one point, I was in a situation like that. I dealt with a young lady. She, always used to go through our argument. She'd tell me, you can leave. And I didn't like that feeling.
Yeah.
So at times I made it hard for myself. I used to sleep in my car. And I said, I'll never, ever be in a situation like that to have anybody that had that kind of power over me. And now I live good. I'm enjoying this life, and I'm just thankful, man. It's God's plan, not mine.
I think every man that went through that situation where they live with a female and they done had that time where she said, you got to go or you can get out. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, definitely.
we all know that.
Definitely. Yeah, so how, you living with a disability, getting around, like we was just talking, like people in nursing homes, like how it's hard, to get out when you want to get out, and then it's like you don't have the resources and things like that, like. But you just telling us, it's people out there, like
Yes.
it's ways to get around shit, and yeah, I think that is like very important, to highlight, because I tell people all the time, like, man, once I'm out of here, I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. Well, creating inclusion, right? I was dissatisfied with like really the disability community. As I came through here, and I always see that, like everyone makes money off the disability community, but people that are disabled, and they keep us in this, I would say like a box, and I don't live in that box, and I will always want to show individuals you don't have to live in that box neither. You understand me? Well, that's why I wanted inclusion, for us to be included in everything. Like look at you, look at y'all fresh. You understand me? Like you're buying clothes. Why are we not in commercials? Why are we not ad commercials? It's showing us that that we're doing the same thing everybody else is doing. Right. Everybody make money off us but us. So that was what I really created inclusion for, inclusion marketing advertisement group. You understand me? Because we're not being marketed and we're not being advertised in anything. I'm still frustrated with the community. Till this day, like I said, if I wanted to, I take my car into service, they give me a loaner car that I'm able to drive. I'm fortunate enough to have another vehicle that I can drive. Everybody's not in that situation.
True.
Yeah, like even like, cause I'm right now taking lessons, driving lessons. Like when you say they won't provide you for a car, like it's not as like simple as taking your hand controls off and putting them on another car.
Well, and that's one of the things that I had that issue with a few individuals that drive, and that's what they said. I don't think that should be it. They manufacture brand new vehicles that are driving themselves, right? So I don't think you should I had to put hand controls on the car. Think about us. Cruise control is for any and everybody. You know what I'm saying? So vehicles are already coming ready and made for that purpose. So, the way they manufacture these vehicles, they're talking to themselves. Like, you got all kind of gadgets. I push a button in my car, it find a parking space for me. I don't need the car to find a parking space. I can find a parking space on my own. You understand me? So the hand controls that they put in these vehicles, they take the airbags are taken out of the vehicles. So it's not even safe. And a lot of individuals are driving cars that are disabled. They got portable hand controls, which is extremely dangerous. They fall off. I got them, but I never use them. All my cars got hand controls in them that I'm able to drive, and they're permanent. So, portable hand controls is something that you screw on. Like, you get on, you got to get down there, you screw them on the gas, screw them on the brakes. And, yeah. And they are, like, notorious for coming off. You understand me? Because it's screws. Now, the permanent ones, you got to take them to a manufacturer. They put them on the steering wheel, and, they permanent ones, so you can't just take them off.
Just made for that car.
Yeah. Yeah, these auto industries should be in compliance like everybody else, but unfortunately, it's not really enough of us really speaking about it. And I'm not saying create them for people with disability. They can create them for any and everybody because, like I said, cruise control is for any and everybody. Right. So it's not like you're making anything that's, putting any gadgets on it. Everything is on the steering wheel right now. In this day and time, man, we living in a society, man, that they're manufacturing stuff. And they make money off us, man. Like I don't know if y'all ever been to any of the disability expos. You go there, man. They got wheelchairs. Think about the wheelchair you're sitting in. How much does it cost? Some chairs is $20,000-$30,000.
Yeah,
you understand me? Like you think of
more than that.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Yeah, what the prices are. They more than So you just think about that. They doing all this stuff. They making money off us, and here it is that we don't get a dollar out of it. None. So it's hard, and we should never be unemployed.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely you should never be, unemployed, and then how, like, once you are, they keep you at this limit.
Yeah.
Or they cut you off on everything,
So that's one of the things that I like. My thing is collectively, man, we can do so much that we get everybody to not really buy into it, but they really understand exactly what it is that, because we all faced with something. Anything that have to do with a disability, man, I'm for it. I don't care what it is. If it's got something to do with disability, I am for it. And the sad part about it, it's a lot of individuals that are disabled they don't share that those same views, man. You know, like, I mean, it's sad, to be honest with you, you know?
Yeah.
But, you know, like I always find myself dealing with individuals that want to do something different, you know, and I didn't put myself in a great situation, you know. I just was made the vice president of the 504 Democratic Party, which is a party that deals with people with disabilities. And I'm around elected officials now, you understand me? So, you know, my thing is to bring awareness to what we face.
You're doing a lot of good shit, man.
Yeah, can't stop, man. You know, can't stop, man. I'm just thankful, man, that, you know, sometimes people look at the wheelchair and they say to me that, you know, they may feel bad for me, man. But, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And you know, all of our situations are different, you know. But this wheelchair has been a blessing to me. You know, God had to sit me down to get my attention. So now He got my attention, and all the things I'm doing now is divine orchestrated. You know, like I'm doing good things, man. This is not me, God. You understand me? Because I've been placed in this great situation, man. My life is good. You know, I'm employing people with disabilities, man. I got over 30-something people that I employ. You know, we work with the Department of Transportation, we work with the Sheriff Department, we work with a lot of city agencies. You know, I'm getting ready to get nominated for an award for the African American Chamber of Commerce for New Jersey. You know, and like I said, these is just great things, man, and this God is just showing me something different, man. But He had to sit me down to get my attention.
I definitely tell people that a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't feel bad for me. I put myself in this situation once, and I'm gonna hold it. You know what I'm saying? The one, I'm thankful to be alive. You know what I'm saying? My daughter can still, even though she gotta see me this way. You know what I'm saying? She's still see me. You know what I'm saying? And I got a poem to say. You know what I'm saying? With, like, basically God talking to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, just chill, my son. Learn life lessons. Know that life is a blessing. You know what I'm saying? So definitely, you know what I'm saying? I always, don't feel sorry for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I've learned shit in this chair that I wouldn't have learned.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, for me, I always say, like, this shit is a gift and a curse. I mean, like, it's a gift because, like, you still alive and be able to live your life and shit, but you cursed to be in a chair. You know what I'm saying?
I definitely feel that, man, because I try my best to keep myself occupied. Because a lot of times when you're just sitting back, you start thinking about certain things that you can't do.
Yeah.
You understand me? Like, I got a boat, and I'm unable to get on the boat myself. The other day I went to the marina and I'm sitting here and I'm saying I'm frustrated because I can't get on the boat myself. You understand me? And I'm just sitting there, man. And, those are things, right, that a lot of people don't, they see all the good parts of me doing myself, me enjoying myself, and I put my stuff on Instagram. But you don't know how I feel at nighttime or just sitting back, things that I'm unable to do. If I fall on the ground, I'm getting back up. You understand me? But it's a process.
Yeah,
you understand me? So I second what you're saying. It is a gift and a curse, but for me, I look at it like, at one point I felt like I was God. You understand me? And God had to sit me down, man. And He sat me down and He got my attention in the work that I'm doing now.
He definitely got my, I feel you. But He definitely had to sit me down and make me realize and see certain shit and certain people for what it was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that was the main thing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a T1. You understand me? A T1 paraplegic. A lot of people don't know what levels of paralyzation is. Y'all quads, right? I was almost there. I almost didn't have I got shot right here. You understand me? So that's, that's right next to the heart. It's not even a quad, it's next to the diet. Yeah. You understand me? You put allegiance to the flag and your heart is here. You understand me? So I got hit right here in my chest, man, but unfortunately, I'm still here, man, and the purpose, I realize what my purpose is, man, and I am doing God's work,
That's good, God, man.
Hell yeah. People definitely, like when it comes to levels and, like I talk to people all the time that's, what I'm saying, got the lower injuries, but they paralyze themselves and doing certain shit.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people came through here, you know what I'm saying, me or VAR, you know what I'm saying, like to tell them like, do it. You know what I'm saying? If you can do it, do it. You know what I'm saying? Like we even seen people, you know what I'm saying, fall into depression. Like And that shit kills.
Yeah.
And that's what it's big, like you said, you know what I'm saying? Keep yourself busy, because you do fall into that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, goddamn.
And that's how I felt in the beginning, man. Like, like I used to smoke weed a lot. I mean, I was considered I couldn't function without smoking weed. But I had to stop because it made me think all the time. It made me think about my disability, and, now I keep myself occupied, man, keep myself busy, man.
Shit, not me. Yeah. I smoke one ass.
Ain't nothing wrong with it. No, I mean, I take a puff every now and then now, but at the end of the day,
I don't even think about my motherfucker.
Yeah.
I don't think about my situation anymore.
Yeah.
Well,
I
somewhere else.
I take a puff every now and then, because I be in pain a lot. You understand me? But I realized, man, for me, like I said, I was an addict, and I started putting things in perspective. I don't, like how do I want to get? You understand me? So if I take a few puffs, I'm all right. Yeah. I don't need to keep on indulging and drinking, and like how do I want to get? And that's what I try to tell individuals.
Shit to me all the time. You know what I'm saying? During the last me a few days. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I had quit for a minute.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Should have last that nigga the whole week.
Yeah. I mean, we the same boat then. You understand me? My homeboy told me, he said, do that shit get you high? Get me high, bro. Yeah. I'm not trying to.
To each his own.
Yeah, to each his own. Yeah.
I'm the one that keep going.
Yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with it, man. Like ain't nothing wrong with it. Like I said, I was there. And, reason why I started thinking about it, man, because I was in prison at one point, right? Like I smoked nothing but the best. They talk about Branson back then. I used to smoke Branson. I smoked nothing but the best. And I'm in prison, man. I'm like, you kind of like fucked up with, financially. You understand? I said all the money I done spent in this weed, at one point I had to call a young lady and ask her to send me some money. I just had to put things in perspective, and that's why to this day, I still love weed. I love it. I may have it, people want it. They like, yo, you don't even smoke. Like, I want to hold on to it, man. I'm going to hold on to it. I'll piece you off. So, here, take a little bit of this. You understand me? But now I go to the dispensary. You understand me? Because they kind of messing all that stuff up right now. So I go to the dispensary and get it from them. It's knowing what I'm dealing with, man, because, they putting fentanyl on all kind of stuff, man. Yeah, I don't want to, that to be the cause of my.
Tell them about the artwork.
Yes, I was showing you, I'm the one that did the artwork on the wall or whatever. I be doing my little digital art and shit now. Well, I've been doing it, I was doing art when I was walking, so
yeah,
it just became my thing when I got in the chair stuff.
Well, I'm impressed, man.
I still found a way.
Yeah, I am. I'm impressed, and I know it's definitely a market for it. I'm gonna share it, man. I'm gonna share it with some people, man, because like it's a lot of people that needs this type of stuff. I'm gonna share the work, man. I used to be an artist. I thought I was as a kid, man. But I like the work. I was looking at it when I came in here.
I had an art page, but unfortunately got taken down because of my other page that I was attached to, so they shut me down.
Yeah, well, one thing I can tell you, man, sometimes, like I said, we get sat down for a purpose. That could be the purpose right there, man. That's some great talent there,
To look at.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely want to talk to you more about, because when we first met on Zoom, you know what I'm saying, you said, you was in the music industry or trying to get into the music industry at a time.
Yeah, I had some artists that I was managing when I first came home from prison, and we did kind of fairly good. They're fairly good, man. K. Slay was played an intricate part in, putting the music out there that we had. It was really more so mixtapes and stuff like that. I really didn't know exactly what the business was about. I just knew that, they had some talent. I didn't know exactly what I was doing. And K. Slay was really, really, really pivotal in helping me, and that's how I was able to pivot from the music to the publication, which turned into something really, better because of the relationship that I created with him, we done had some of everybody inside our magazine, but I still wasn't focused enough because I still was dipping in the streets. So I wound up getting locked up, and went back to prison, in the wheelchair again. And that's what I realized, man, like, you losing your mind, like this is not a life that I want to live, I'm in back locked up. And I realized that I had a dog at the time. I got a dog now, but around the time my dog lived better than the way I was living inside an institution. So I said, I can't do this no more, man. And I didn't want to put my girl through the trials and tribulations that she was going through coming to visit me. And then I had people that was in prison that depended on me, you know. And so I said, you know, I got to do something different. You know, so when I came home, I ran with the magazine again, you know, but it was kind of behind. Everything started going digital. Everybody started doing the podcasts and stuff like that, you know. But even when I was publishing the magazine, one of the young ladies that was working with me, she said, you always been wanting to help people, because when I published the magazine, I always wanted to find out, one of the questions I always ask individuals that we interview, you know, what are you doing for the community? You know, because you see a lot of times these artists, you know, like they get highlighted for a lot of the negative stuff what they're doing. So I wanted to highlight the work they're doing inside the community, you know, and that was one of my main questions. What are you doing for the community? You know, and you know, I said we did really well with the magazine, man. And it just showed me that when you're focused, you can do anything you want to do. That magazine, when I look at it, till this day, I mean, from Puff all the way down to holding my magazine up, you know, because I put, I mean, not pressure, but I was making it look good, man, you know. Yeah.
You got your shit noticed, though.
Yeah.
What was the name of the magazine?
Celebrity Report magazine. I still own the website. You know, like all the stuff is old on it. You understand me? It's not even. I don't think it comes up, but I still own the website. You know, I still got a few copies of some old issues. You know, you see. You know, in my phone, you see them holding up. I got some pictures of them holding up the magazines from. I told you from Puff all the way on down to some everybody inside the magazine, man. You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Like I said, man, you got the studio in there, you know what I'm saying? I mostly make the beats, you know what I'm saying? I might, if I get a beat that talk to me, I might get on there for, I'm not really a rapper, but yeah, that's some of the things we do, you know what I'm saying? We write the poetry, you know what I'm saying? Spoken word, and like how important is it to you, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, I know it's important, you know, to do things for the community, but like, a lot of people don't realize that, you know what I'm saying? Like, me, you know what I'm saying, if I was asked that question, I would say because I helped tear it down at a time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I was that bad seed in the community, and that's why I like doing positive community work now, you know what I'm saying? Like, especially when it's talking to youth. My thing is, I ain't gonna come in and tell you what to do and what not to do.
Well, for me, I like to lead by example, you know.
Yeah.
And, you know, I consider myself a leader, you know, and at one point I led individuals in the wrong direction, man. You know, I got one of my homeboys, man, that passed away. You know, I used to call him my son, you know, kind of raised him, you know. He wound up getting shot in a wheelchair and shit like that, you know. And I tried to, like, you know, give him some directions, you know. Like, at one point, he used to push me around in a chair. But he wasn't able to function enough, man. And it really bothered me that, you know, that I led him astray, man. You know, I never put anything negative in his hand, but sometimes you having somebody like that around you and they seeing all the negative stuff that you're doing, you know, they gravitate to that lifestyle. Yeah. At one point, I used to call him my son. I tell him, you know, he got older and he's moving around, doing things in the streets. And I said, well, I can't call you my son no more. I call you my man, you know. But he wound up getting shot, became paralyzed, and just couldn't function with it, man, you know. And I feel bad behind that. And like I said, got some homeboys of mine that's locked up, you know. I just try, like I said, lead by example now, you know. And I feel that God sat me down for this purpose. Can't save everybody's life.
Yeah.
He definitely pushing you in the right direction.
Yeah.
He got you. He got you busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. When it comes to, you know, everything that you do, you know, you say you give out to awards, people with disabilities, you know what I'm saying, help people, you know what I'm saying? It seems like you all around them trying to help everybody, which is great, you know what I'm saying? And I think, like, this is what I always say, you know what I'm saying? Not every kid gonna listen to you. People say 1 out of 20, you know what I'm saying? That's good, you know?
Well, one of the things that I see, right, you know, you hear, and I'm quite sure you hear this a lot, that everybody talk about the new generation, you know, and these young dudes out here, they don't want to listen, right? You know, and I hate when people say that, right? But I understand why they not listening. You understand me? Because like a lot of guys that proclaim to be OGs, you're doing the same thing they're doing. You know, you're out here on the corner with them. Why would they listen to you? You're trying to sex the same young ladies they're sexing. You understand me? You know, so they're not going to listen to you. You understand me? They're going to look at you as their opposition. You're their competition. You're not considered their OG because you're doing the same thing they're doing. So that this is why, you know, our community, man, is kind of like really messed up because these individuals that proclaim to be OGs, man, how they moving around, man.
Yeah.
I don't have problems with nobody, man, you know. And a lot of the younger generation, man, they look at me different because I'm doing something different, man. I'm not doing the same things that everybody else. I'm not hanging on no corners.
Yeah.
You know, like those days are over. You know, I'm telling individuals, like, you know, you can do anything you want to do. Just put your mind to it, man. You know, stay focused. You don't have to, you know, like, it's a lot that we can be doing, man, you know.
Yeah, definitely. You know, and like having kids that's around that age, you know, it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Especially, I see my boy go through it all the time. You know what I'm saying? He got boys. And I got a daughter, but she, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got a daughter too.
Yeah.
I got 3 and 3.
Yeah, 3 and 3. Congratulations to you, man. You know, God gave me a new heart, man. You understand me? He gave me a new heart, man, because I was running wild on the streets. Like I told you, at one point I felt like I was God. Anything I wanted done, I did it. I don't care what it was. I had a team. Anything I wanted done, I did it. So God gave me a new heart. He sat me down. I want you to do something different. So right now, what I do is I remove anything that's negative around me.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to think negative.
Yeah.
I don't want to think about hurting nobody. You understand me?
Yeah.
You know, any like that, those thoughts, you know, like they still there.
Yeah.
So for me, I start removing anything that's not pleasing to me in my spirit. I need it away from me. God gave me a new heart. You understand me? I'm minding my own business. That's why, like I said, I'm at peace. I don't bother nobody. I'm enjoying my life, man, and I'm trying to, you know, make all the things. That's why I can tell you about people that I, you know, led astray. You understand me? I apologize. Anything that I did anything wrong, anybody, ask for forgiveness. Because I want God to forgive me. And God forgave me, gave me a new heart, man. I'm thankful, brother.
Yeah.
I'm thankful. That's why I can come here and talk and tell y'all, man, I can move around in the city like, you know, like it's so good. It's so good with me, man, because God gave me a new heart, man. I'm thankful, man. You know.
Yeah, like you say God gave you a new heart. And so what do you want people to remember you as? Like,
Well, at this point, man,
So, like-
remember me. And that's one of the questions I used to ask people when I do the magazine. How do you want to be remembered? I got a friend of mine, right? And I had asked him that question. And, you know, he said if he go before me, what he's going to say about me. And the things that he said, it made me brought tears in my eyes. You know, a real individual. You want to help my people out. That's how I want to be remembered, helping people. My president of the 504 Democratic Party, right, told me, he said, Edward, I don't mind helping you because you want to help people. And that's what I do to this day. You know, my organization, Inclusion, the people that I work with, I help. You understand? I help. You don't have no money, I give you some money. I'm not just giving individuals money. You understand me? When people ask for money, give you a job. Give you a job. You understand me?
You give them the
Opportunity,
direction,
yeah.
You lead them in the right way.
Yeah. That's how I want to be remembered. A person to help people, man.
definitely, man. Well, I appreciate you for coming out, man.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Doing this with us, man. Definitely looking forward, you know what I'm saying, to keeping this relationship going, you know what I'm saying, and collabing.
We gonna make it happen, man. Cause like I said, this is see y'all brothers, man. Like I said, man, y'all fresh, man. You understand me? Like for real, man. I'm impressed, man. Like, you know, impressed, but I'm also frustrated that we should have to go through this right here. You understand me? Like y'all ain't got no business being in here, man. Like this life is good, man. You understand me? Ain't nowhere in the world that, you know, brothers with the talents that y'all got, man. You understand me? A lot of times, you know, we don't get the exposure that we need. You understand me? And that's what, you know, like I just look at, man, when you talk about these people in hop, you know, I always tell, you know, when I write my letters to these people, if I had more, I can do more. You understand me? Like, how is it, you know, these people that's in these high places, man, that you don't see things like this, right? You're not trying to help people out. I don't understand that, man.
Yeah.
To them, all we is a check, like you said. They don't see us as people.
Yeah.
They just see us as numbers. So as long as they keep us here, they get paid.
Yeah.
Especially depending on on your situation, I guess, you know what I mean?
I'm going to add to what you're saying, right? I was going to a fundraiser a few years ago. It's an elected official, deputy mayor. He said, when the city becomes fairer and more inclusive, we all benefit. I like that when he said that, right? And I used to say that when I go to do a presentation. However, when I seen him, I said, how you doing, sir? His response to me was, I don't have any change.
Wow. They do in the chair.
But you know what he seen, bro? All he seen was my wheelchair.
That's what I said.
He did, right. That's why all he sees is my wheelchair. I had some money in my pocket, and I looked way better than him. So I said, yo, you know what? You didn't look at me as a man. You looked at my chair. Because I look way better than him. He said, oh, my God. He said, oh, my man, my bad. I get hit up all the time. That still wasn't a good response to say. You understand? You get hit up all the time. You're a deputy mayor of the city. And like I said, I mean, like, you know, like my previous background and where I get, but I held my composure because I wanted to go in. Like, that's an insult. Change. Yeah. I keep money in my own pocket. We need change. But that's what we face with, man. People in these positions proclaim to help us, and they're not there to help us, man.
Yeah.
You understand me? So if we can come together collectively, I keep telling everybody collectively, if we can come together, you can't do nothing with us, man. Nothing. You know? So I'm going to do everything in my power, man, like, to introduce y'all to other people, man, and, and bring awareness to what's going on, because this is not fair at all. Yeah. You understand me? Ain't nowhere in the world. Yeah. That's exactly what I'm going to do,
Appreciate that.
Yeah, so I'm a part, like I said, I'm a vice president of the 504 Democratic Club. Y'all can join it. I want y'all to join it. I pay for y'all to join it. It's $10 to join or whatever the case is. But it's an organization that's designed to help people with disabilities, man. And we're able to talk to elected officials. They come to us and they ask for it to be endorsed and stuff like that, and then you can be able to speak how you feel about what's going on. And that's their job, is to help you. Any elected official is to help. When I came home, my first apartment that I was able to get, because I told you, I came home, I had to go through a whole bunch. But Congressman, man, God bless his dad, Charlie Ringo, he had wrote a letter for me because they didn't want to give me housing as well. He wrote a letter for me, and that's how I was able to get my first apartment. And my homeboys furnished up for me, shit like that. So sometimes it's like going to housing or whatever it may be, elected officials. Whatever elected officials that you deal with, elected officials. You understand me? Because at the end of the day, they got this property around here, so much they doing so much, man. It's my power, man. I'm going to do anything in my power, man, to help.
Yeah, man. Yeah, definitely appreciate that, man.
Good looking.
Appreciate you for coming out, man, doing this, man. And we gonna stay connected.
No doubt.
Definitely.
All right, yo. We out.
We out of here.
Streets don't love nobody. Gotta find a new route to make it out, man.